Guys, welcome back to the Law Firm Marketing Minute. Wait a minute. Our podcast. What is this show? This is Legal Marketing Live. Welcome back to Legal Marketing.
He's sitting on the wrong side.
Yeah, I'm like all thrown off. So, my name is Daniel Deck, partner here at Spotlight Branding, and I'm joined by Mark Sniglia today. And a little promo there, I guess. Might as well throw that in, right?
Yeah.
So, you should totally check out the Law Firm Marketing Minute, which is on iTunes and Stitcher and Android, and that is our podcast. This is Legal Marketing. And we're going to talk about a little bit of different subjects today. We're going to go a little bit bigger picture than our typical, specifically in marketing. We're going to talk about client experience.
I love it.
Before we get into that, I want to give you guys just a little example of why that's a big deal. And I'm going to use a few examples of businesses that you may have heard of, right? The first one is Starbucks. And believe it or not, this seems weird now, but back in the late 80s, the whole concept of a coffee shop where you sit and hang out with friends and do homework or, actually go do real work, all of that was kind of a new thing. Starbucks here, this whole concept of a third place is what they called it, a place between your house and your school or a house and your office. And they created this whole experience that was really exciting to people, and as a byproduct, gave them the ability to charge $5 for a cup of coffee. You could normally only charge $1 for back then. That's probably a little more immediately relevant to you guys is the Mayo Clinic, right? We've all been to the doctor, and frankly, it sucks. Most of going to the doctor sucks. Like, you sit there for 20 minutes, your appointment was at 8 a.m., you don't go until 11:30, you have to do all this paperwork, even though you were just there last week. Like, it's just kind of a nightmare, and that's pretty standard across the industry. Well, Mayo Clinic has made their main focus providing an exceptional client experience, and as a result, they're growing, and they do things. They require that their appointments actually have the time that they're scheduled, right?
Oh my gosh.
Novel.
That's possible?
Apparently it's possible.
Wow.
They, doctors and everyone there actually has to adhere to a strict dress code. And the managers that are going to require doctors to, change their shirts, if it's standards, they put couches in doctors' offices so that instead of sitting in an uncomfortable chair, the patient can relax. They make their room. They just do all sorts of little things which make it a fun experience. Yeah. And as a result, they're growing rapidly where many medical providers are not. So that's what we're going to talk about here. And the idea is that client experience is a way to get people excited about you, create buzz, create referrals. Just creating a good, positive experience is just rocket fuel for everything else that you do.
Yeah, and for everyone out there, hopefully there's no question of this being important. I think that, being honest, it's all expected. It doesn't seem like it's at the top of our list, but there shouldn't be a question of whether or not this is important. I mean, think about any experience you have out there in the real world. It's grocery shopping, going to the store to buy anything, or any service provider, a doctor's office, or any other type of service that you might need. The experience, and so hopefully that's a given. One of the first things I throw out there that's important to me, where I really like to see is excel is really in the initial experience once they come into the office. I think that you want to really offer a nice presentation. I think that clean your office matters. I think the furniture you have matters. If you're going to into your personal office, your desk should be clear. All of these things can say something about you. If your desk is cluttered, they're subconsciously thinking maybe you're more disorganized. So even just creating a very crisp, refined, clean experience for the client is going to make them feel better. Yeah. Just literally feel better when they're in your office. The really cool thing about it is that they're probably not even going to realize why. I think the furniture, the cleanliness, the organization of your office. I know some lawyers that actually thought about the layout of their office and wanted to make the client that it wasn't like in their office the client would walk around the copier past this person's desk, was always messy, past another 3 people that were on phone calls, get to whatever room and then needed to go to. And even just thinking about that and how that's not really a simple, clean experience for somebody. And so I really like one of the places it starts is actually in the physical client journey.
Yep, no, that's a great point. And that was one of the first ones on my list here. Just kind of your office out and your amenities. Another one which you didn't touch on, but you kind of cover the rest. What beverages do you make available, right? It's expectation to have some level of coffee available, but next level, think about maybe a Keurig, maybe give people to have hot chocolate, tea, coffee that doesn't taste like crap, think about kind of every step of the client journey once they're in your office. And I agree with you. I think that's kind of like the first impression in many cases, and so that's a big deal. Another one I'll add on that subject is the way that your staff conducts themselves. Whoever greets when they walk in the door and asks them to have a seat or them back, that person needs to be well trained and probably somewhat scripted how that greeting goes. You certainly need to have a good dress in place and require some level of professionalism. Now, I get that they're, firm maybe a little bit more casual, and that's fine. We're not saying that it has to be in like super formal clothing, but you need to have some sort of dress code that's consistent and so that you create that consistent experience, and then when someone walks in the door, the first experience is really good. Kind of office, or we just touched on that. Let's talk about office location for a second. My kind of main thought on that, and you have some more to add, but my main thought is just make it convenient and make office somewhere where your target clients want to go, right? It seems obvious, but I have with not necessarily law firms, but with just other professional service providers, I've had to go to a place where like I'm not comfortable because maybe it's just not safe. Like I used to live in Miami, we both, and I went to a consultant every once in a while, and she was located in a not so great area of town, and I'm sure it was a great deal for her, and she didn't have had to come to her office very often, but it didn't feel safe. It wasn't comfortable. So think about, like, literally, are you located in a place where your clients are going to want to visit you?
Yeah, and I think that a point that would be important too, where we get into branding and marketing a little bit too, is it all matters who your clientele is.
Exactly.
I mean, there might be certain clientele where I think you want to create comfort and security in some ways. It goes back to the office decor a little bit too, I mean, so I don't think you necessarily have to feel like you have to set up shop in like a neighborhood either. I think it depends on who you're serving.
That's exactly it. And if you are targeting people who maybe are going through bankruptcy or immigration issues or whatever, and they don't feel a need to go to like a super fancy shop to meet with, but maybe if you're dealing with divorce for women with high net worth, or in a number of practice areas where you're targeting extremely high income people, well then you should think that, and your office should probably be located in a different place than the guy who's serving a different clientele.
Absolutely. One of the other things I kind of touch on, and I'd like to know if you have any thoughts first as well, is the area of kind of technology/communication. And I've got some there too, but I mean, it comes to mind.
I mean, I think that lawyers are way too slow to use technology, and I think that their clients kind of pay the price for it. I think that you should use technology to create the most streamlined possible experience for your clients and make it as easy for them as possible.
Yeah. The first ones that come to mind is case management software. I mean, Clio, my case. I think Lexicon one. I think Volvo might even have one now, or maybe that was for marketing purposes. But there are options out there for you as a lawyer to manage cases. And what's so cool is that so many of these tools offer things like client logins, where a client can actually, like, you can go your name and a password to them, your clients, and they can log in and see the status of your case. And it's easy for you to track all that, because if you use these programs where they're meant to be used, you're actually updating the case as you go. And so your clients can see where things stand. They can log into the complete paper, and then it's secure.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about sending the client some email. It's like all confusing. Oh, click here, then enter this password.
It's the worst.
And
it's
then
the worst.
and you have to upload this secure thing. Or maybe you should just come in and sign this stuff in person, because it's secure if I send it to you over email.
Right.
And the thing is, it's just in today's day and age, it's just not hard to, like, there's companies out there, third-party applications that aren't expensive, have a low monthly cost. And so I think, and there are so many blogs that you follow, Lawyerist, Attorney at Work, where they're talking about some of these platforms and tools that not only will make you efficient at what you do, but more importantly will allow you to communicate more effectively with clients. And just look like more like you're all and you're technologically savvy. And I think that's important.
More and more that's an expectation. I think that especially a younger generation really has no patience at this point for just absurd difficult navigation, right? Whether it's just a package of paper that they have to come in to sign manually. Like, it just doesn't make sense. And you touched on it, but it really will make your life a lot easier, because, like, your son doesn't enjoy having to print out paper copies of every single document that needs to be signed. Like nobody's life has actually been, not like let's save the rainforest and maybe we can eliminate some of the stacks of paperwork.
I feel like what we're talking about here is kind of premium experience. I think that if you really devote some time to this, the truth is a premium experience, it doesn't actually have a premium price tag.
Exactly. But what's awesome is that kind of like we talked at the beginning, doing so, it creates much more value that you're creating for them. And so literally it will give you the ability to raise your price point over time because, like, wow, this lawyer really gets it. Maybe they don't realize the details. It's just a painless process versus every other lawyer they've had with. They felt to jump through all these hoops. So no, I think that's great.
And let me just add too, I think referrals too. I mean, I've even found some of the lawyers I've worked with personally, like I've just found myself making comments to people that I otherwise made, like, oh, this lawyer was great. They allowed me to log in where my cases were at, and that was great. Like little things like comments that people are going to make that it have walked out of your office negative comments. It's that you're creating a raving fan.
Yep.
We use that term a lot. That's where you're actually getting somebody to want to say to people. It's still subconscious, but if you have a great office decor, a great user experience with technology, communication, everything we talked about, I absolutely expect your referral is going to go up because people are just going to be more, they're going to be more urged to actually share
and that's the point, and that's why we're having this conversation. Exactly that. So, next topic I want to touch on here is your actual visual brand. Right? All of the things we've been talking about, all of that actually kind of like builds into your brand because your brand really is how people perceive absolutely the friendliness of your staff and the layout of your office and where your office is located. That all definitely contributes to your brand. Let's talk visual brand for a second and just think about like your logo, your website, your social media presence, kind of all of the different touch points that you have with clients, whether it's business cards, whether it's your email newsletter, all of that composes your. We don't have time here to take like a huge deep into this. We could probably talk about this topic alone for hours, but think about the brand that you want to create and think about your target market. Like not everybody needs to create a super high-end premium brand. That's not what we're suggesting here. What we're suggesting is that you know who your target market is, and you define it carefully in a way that's going to resonate with them.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great point. Maybe premium wasn't even the best word earlier about creating a fitting experience for your market. I know it's not along the lines of logo stuff like that, but you just made me think of something that I think is really important. A family law who purposely got like orange chairs because her logo was orange, and then I believe it might be to someone else. I believe they even went as far as putting like some toys in the office. A lot of their clients had kids and were bringing kids into the office, and that is not the same office you'd want to bring in high-end business clientele, and that's okay. So I think really catering is important. To your point, opportunities to kind of create some synergy between your site, your logo, and putting that in the office, putting up your logo nicely on the wall, having something that maybe even matches your brand a little bit, and then overall just whatever feeling your website creates, whatever feeling your social media creates, trying to carry same experience, not even just visually, right? But just through, like if you have a website that looks really up to date, it's going to be kind of weird if all the ways you communicate are archaic.
Exactly.
Having that.
I think that's a great point, and I love the idea of tying the like visual logo and all your branding colors into your office with chairs that match your logo. Like that's colors.
Yeah, I mean we're office right now.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right, so thing we should touch on here is just client communication, and ranges everything from literally how the phone is answered when someone picks up their phone and calls you, and like an obvious thing you maybe wouldn't have to teach your people about, but we'll tell you that is not the case. And there are a ridiculous amount of studies that show that many times the person answering the phone, they just say something law office, and they don't have any concept of the brand that you're trying to create. They don't know your website it's ridiculous. So literally start at the very beginning and think through like the phone call. Did you have something
I just think it should be written. I think it should be you answer the phone like this. You say this and you say it with this tone.
Yep.
Because you're not saying the name of your firm.
It's shocking how many literally answer the phone.
And then here's my other favorite one. It's shocking many of them. It almost sounds like you're bothering them or interrupting them. Guys, when someone's coming to you, they have a legal problem.
Right.
Like, if any deserves to have a tone that sounds annoyed or upset. 9 times out of 10, the person coming to you,
Right.
they shouldn't be annoyed at you,
Right.
right? But like the person should get a
Right.
tone, like the people
And when-
that, you know, positivity.
And they are looking for a solution, right? And they're probably considering different. It's a big deal that they feel like listened to, heard,
Mm-hmm.
and they want to hire a lawyer who's compassionate. And to your point, if the person answering the phone at your office sounds like they're being a ass, you probably just lost that case, unless your competitor is the same, which is possible.
Very possible.
But all right, and so beyond that, right, beyond just the phone call, think about things like setting expectations for respondents. You know, I know lawyers that have a communication office that says we will get back to you within 48 business hours, and that doesn't necessarily have a detailed answer if you brought a really complicated question to them, but at least some acknowledgement, at least an update on what the status is. Like customers and clients hate to be where things stand. So literally, just by making a point, you can use case management software to do this. To your point earlier, but by properly communicating and keeping people in the loop so they understand what's happening to them, what's going on with their case, that's a really big deal. Anything else?
I mean, I would give a even more detailed answer than you just said. There's no reason you couldn't have a communication policy where you at least face with a client once a week, even if you literally have no for them. Like you have a written policy in your office that just says every week we will face with every client, even if that's just an email to say, hey, there is no update, but we're still doing X, Y, and Z, or we're still waiting on X, Y, or Z, or we're still waiting on X, Y, and Z, but here's what we're doing to try to speak.
Yep.
Just them hearing from you. And so think of other things that you can implement as a policy for your team to follow. Maybe give it to them and to follow. Like if you're going to tell everyone they need to follow up once a week, give them something that actually has a recurring task.
Exactly.
You know, don't just expect a member to do the policy.
And what you just said will take you and your team about a couple of minutes tops to send out that email, and it makes a world of difference for the client. Just a world of difference. And that's the central point of all of this, is that when you think of every detail of the client experience that you create, and when you create an exceptional experience every step of the way, people are going to be blown away. They are not only happy to continue to use your service if they need them, you're going to refer people your way, and you are just going to stand out in an industry that really isn't known for great client service, great customer service. That's a good place to end it here, is that think about step of the client experience, everything from how your office is laid out to your visual brand.
Anything the client touches
it's
or interacts.
literally worth to actually map that out and be like, okay, what are the different touch points my clients have with us? Walk them through finding your website the first time, all the way through to consultation, in process, meetings with you, correspondence throughout the case, and all the conclusion. And ask yourself what you can do to make that experience. I promise you that not only will your clients be happier, but your mouth referrals will explode, because again, you'll just surprise and delight people. So, thank you guys for joining. I know there was a lot there. Jana, I think we have a blog entry up into the comments, just a little bit more on this subject if you guys are interested. And also Marcia, attorney at work, and Lawyerist, they both do a great job touching on these things. Lawyerist, even, we talked about this earlier, a whole article on what kind of coffee you should serve, and actually really great. So after this, I will go and I'll add it to hot link section of the next Focal Point newsletter. So next Thursday, watch for that. There'll be practical tips in there. But all right, thank you guys for joining us. We'll be back next week, same time, same place. See you next week.